Yo, what's going on everybody? Fred at eSkate Unity here, back at you with another video. Today we have the Ownboard Pro Bamboo version. Let's get right into it. This nicely packaged, lots of styrofoam. Got the remote over here. I don't know if I opened this upside down or not, so it is what it is. Hobby Wing remote. They give you the free cover, that's cool. This is a 5 amp hour charger, which is very good for this size board. T-tool. Handle, which you can attach on the front or the rear of the board if you want. Allen keys and charger for the remote. More padding, that's good. See extra belts. A 120mm cloud wheels. Traditional kingpin trucks, which we are starting to love. Bash guards, good to have free bash guards. This is a 17 amp hour battery, 630 watt hours. This is Molicel M35, and this also has a max load of 220 pounds, and the board itself weighs about 27.5 pounds. I like the logoing here. I saw another YouTuber saying that they didn't like that logoing. I like that. It's a nice little signature. This is seriously beautiful. I really like this design a lot. Seriously, this reminds me and Max like the beachy vibe. You know, we want to go down the shore to ride this thing. We want to go to Florida, we want to go to Miami. So the motors are 1500 watt motors each, 170 kV, 6368 motors. The deck is bamboo, Canadian maple, and fiberglass. It has a 180-day warranty. The deck is about 38.5 inches in length. Also, they give you extra grip tape just in case you don't like that design, the typical hexagon grip tape. So you guys can do that as well if you don't like the standard design that the board comes with. All right, let's charge this bad boy up. Let's take it out for a ride.
No mercy, no mercy. No mercy.
Okay, so let's start off talking about the deck. The deck I really like a lot. I could talk about it for a very long time. The drop down is really good. It's got shallow, concave, but again, that drop down really helps plant your feet. I love the simplicity of it, yet it has that bamboo style. It looks like it should be in some kind of commercial with Miami Beach in the background. So underneath the deck, you will notice the entire battery takes up the entire bottom of the deck, which is my personal preference. I enjoy a one-piece battery enclosure rather than two separate enclosures for the battery and the ESC. It is a flex deck. It's not too flexy, but it's not too stiff. In my opinion, it's just perfect. The Ownboard Bamboo is utilizing traditional kingpin trucks, which gives you great stability. Ownboard also partnered up with Riptide, and they're using Riptide pivot cups. What those pivot cups allow you to do is maneuver the board way better, just like a double kingpin board. Now, some people hate cloud wheels, some people love them. I tend to like them a lot on traditional kingpin truck setups, especially with a little bit of a flex deck. I think they go very well together. When you're carving, it snaps back very nicely, and the cloud wheels still grip very good. Riding over the everyday sidewalk and cracks, it's just super easy with this board. Do you feel the cracks a little bit? Sure, but the comfort level is all the way up there. Now, riding over really bad streets in this setup was actually quite easy. Now, if you don't have a budget that's over $1,100, $1,200 and you want to get well over 25 miles in range, this is a very, very good setup to go with. Between the sturdy deck that has a little bit of give in the flex because it's a bamboo deck, along with this traditional Kingpin trucks keeping your stability, and the big 120 cloud wheels, this is a great setup for everyday use. These roads I ride over every single day, and as you guys know, I have a few different boards, I have a few different wheels, so I've had a lot of different setups riding over the same exact pavement you are seeing right now. This right here is a very comfortable setup. So again, if you're trying to maximize range, want a 2-in-1 board that's well under $1,200, this is definitely a good choice.
No mercy, no mercy, no mercy.
Riding over grass with this setup was super fun. Since it's a street setup and has a lower center of gravity, digging in your heels like that inside the grass really helps your coordination if you want to start sliding your board. Even though this setup really isn't meant for off-roading, I did it anyway, and it was perfectly fine. It was a lot of fun. Of course, you're gonna feel a lot of the twigs and rocks and branches and things like that, but if you just push through it, it's even more fun because, again, I like that lower center of gravity feel, and I feel like I can control what's underneath me a lot better. So instead of showing a random acceleration test, here's the Ownboard versus the Evolve GTR. The Evolve GTR is utilizing 105mm wheels with 38T. The Ownboard has 44T with 120mm cloud wheels.
2, 3, go.
Now, as you saw, the GTR beat the Ownboard off the line, but about after 15 feet or so, the Ownboard started catching up past the GTR quite easy. As for top speed, I got 28.5 miles per hour, which I think is plenty for this board. It's not really geared towards a performance-based board. It's more of a cruiser, fun carver, and great stability. As for range, I got 27.2 miles in range. Now keep in mind, I am 145 pounds. I do have a few hills around here. I carve a lot, which does decrease a little bit of range. And I did notice that the belts were actually pretty damn tight after my range test. So loosened up belts will definitely help you with range. Constructive criticism. The back grip tape by the rear drop down was bubbling a little bit. Not the biggest deal in the world. This one's a little bit hard to explain. Now, as I mentioned before, they're utilizing Riptide pivot cups in the front and rear trucks. As you can see, they're both blue and they're sticking out a little bit where the pivot cups belong. Now, when you use these type of pivot cups, you're gonna have a lot of maneuverability, which some people want, and I get that. But when you use that with traditional Kingpin trucks, I feel like they're very sloppy. If you see the behavior of the trucks, it's just too much pivoting. And that pivoting doesn't have 2 Kingpins on each truck. So it's like sloppy for a brief period of time and it doesn't extend the carve. It just kind of ends. And it's really mushy. If you've ever seen any of my B1 Balrog videos, here's some footage of me riding the B1 Balrog. This is a flex deck with traditional Kingpin trucks on 105 wheels. This has stock bushings and stock pivot cups. As you can see, I can extend the carve for longer periods of time and push the carve deeper and harder because there's less resistance. Ownboard bamboo, since it's utilizing those really lubricated pivot cups, I feel like it gets very mushy feel and it just ends. It's done pivoting. With the stock traditional Kingpin setup that's not utilizing the actual lubricated pivot cups, I feel like you have much more carviness in it, just like this, what you're watching. Because again, this is another flex deck, just like the bamboo setup with the traditional Kingpin trucks riding on cloud wheels. Hope I'm making some kind of sense. It is hard to explain, like I mentioned, but hopefully some of you might understand what I'm saying. Point being, I think they should just go with stock pivot cups because I think the lubricated pivot cups are just too much for that setup. I think it's too much trying to overcompensate for more carbiness, and it's ruining the feel of the board. When I started riding the board, I realized there was some kind of rattle in the front end, and it turned out just to be the bolts on the truck base plate. So just make sure you tighten those up. If the deck had a little bit more concave, it would be absolutely perfect in my opinion. But the double drop down does plant in your feet, and also the deck is not on the narrow side, it's a little bit more wider. Those that want better turning radius on their traditional Kingpin trucks, put your foot here, put some weight on it. Now, what most people don't mention is these boards that aren't crazy high performance like the Meepo Hurricane or the Eovan GTS, these are very beginner friendly boards. So with me, I'm practicing switch. So here I am riding in regular stance when I'm normally goofy. So it gives me a very good practice to ride in regular stance and I'm comfortable. Then switching back to goofy, I feel like I'm an even better, more aggressive rider. Even if you are an advanced rider and you want to add this to the collection and you have somebody in your family that wants to try e-skate, this is a great way to go. Final thoughts. Ever since Ownboard came out with the original Ownboard Zeus, they've been taking off. This board is no exception. I mean, this board is fantastic. I love flex decks. I love 2-in-1 boards, especially now with traditional Kingpin trucks because it gives you that stability, whether it's at high speed or just riding over really bad roads. This one has all those positive attributes. It has a 17.5 amp hour battery on the monocell version, which is plenty of range. On top of everything, the design of this deck is just fantastic. I can't stop looking at it. It makes me just want to retire and ride next to the beach for the rest of my life. And the best part about it all, it's just a little bit over $1,000 with my discount code. And that's the monocell bigger battery version as well. Thank you for watching, guys. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Have a good one, guys.